If you're tired, broken, 2.0, and feel like disappearing from this world, don't leave just yet. I have something important to tell you. Something that might just keep you going. There was a time in my life when I woke up and felt nothing. Not because I was lazy, but because I saw no reason to begin another day. I tried. I really tried. But everything kept falling apart. Broken relationships, unstable work, loneliness, and worst of all, a deep exhaustion that sleep couldn't fix. I looked in the mirror and saw someone lost, not talented, not special, and definitely not enough. I asked myself, am I really meant to be here? Do I even have a purpose? And if you've ever asked yourself those same questions, know this. You're not alone. You are not broken. You are just tired from carrying more than most people can see. Sometimes life is brutally unfair. We don't get to choose our starting point, but we always get to choose our next step. So if you're struggling, I want you to do just one thing. Pause. Take a breath. You don't need to race right now. You don't need to fix everything by tomorrow. Start small. Write down 3 things you're still grateful for. Cook yourself a kind meal. Clean a little corner of your room. Say no to people who drain your energy. And most importantly, stop comparing your timeline to anyone else's. Not everyone starts at the same place. Some are born with support. Some are born into survival. And yet, here you are, still breathing, still trying. That is strength. That is resilience. No one sees the silent battles you fought. But I do, because I fought them too. You're still here. And that's not nothing, that's everything. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to not quit. Not today. Failure isn't your enemy. It's your teacher. One day, I promise, you'll look back at this dark chapter and whisper to yourself, I'm glad I didn't give up. You don't need to find the light right now. You just need to believe that your story is not over yet. So if you're listening to this right now, it means something inside you still wants to keep going. And that's more than enough to begin again. Thank you for staying. This right here could be the moment everything slowly starts to change. I was always planning, always chasing goals. But the more I chased, the more lost I felt. I began to feel like I was running in circles. My dreams no longer excited me. My days felt heavier, and my nights felt longer. One day, after a series of painful failures, I sat still for hours, and for the first time in my life, I said to myself, maybe I should stop. Not just pause to rest, but stop everything altogether. So I did. I turned off my social media accounts. I disabled every notification. I switched off my phone, and I cut off contact with everyone for a full week. For those 7 days, I did one thing. I sat with myself. I faced the silence that I had been avoiding. I listened to the voice within me that I had long ignored. I asked myself questions I had buried beneath noise and busyness. Why do I keep failing? What am I really chasing? When was the last time I truly felt alive? What made my heart beat faster when I was younger? Why do I care so much about others' expectations? Slowly, painfully, I realized something important. I had been chasing a version of success that did not belong to me. I had been living according to someone else's blueprint, not my own. I was measuring my worth using someone else's ruler. Those 7 days changed my life. I no longer walk like someone trying to prove their worth. I now move like someone who was once lost but is now finding direction. Not all the answers are clear, but the path feels more honest. I learned that achievements do not define who I am. I learned that my flaws and struggles are part of my humanity. And most importantly, I learned to say no. No to the things that drain me. No to the voices that do not support me. No to the paths that take me away from who I am. Failure is not the end. It is often life's way of giving us space to reflect, to reset, to rediscover what truly matters. Sometimes you need to fall apart to see what needs rebuilding. Sometimes you need silence to hear your true calling. Sometimes you need to stop running to realize what has been chasing you from the inside. So if you are feeling lost, tired, or like giving up, maybe it is time to stop. Not because you are weak, but because you are wise enough to listen to yourself. Sit with your thoughts. Sit with your questions. Do not rush the answers. Let them rise slowly, like the sun after a long dark night. Ask yourself, what kind of life do I want to live? What values do I want to stand for? What kind of peace am I searching for? And when you begin to answer those questions honestly, that is when life truly begins. Not the life others expect from you, but the life that finally feels like your own. For a long time, I waited. I waited for someone to notice I was struggling. I waited for the perfect opportunity. I waited for motivation to find me. I waited for a sign, but nothing came. And each day I waited, I sank a little deeper, into doubt, into sadness, into silence. Until one day, I asked myself, what if no one is coming? What if the hero I've been waiting for is me? That thought scared me, because it meant taking responsibility. It meant no more blaming the world, no more blaming my past, no more blaming bad luck. It meant standing up, even when my legs shook. So I stood, not proudly, not strongly, but honestly, I admitted to myself that I was lost, that I was tired, that I was afraid. But I also admitted I was ready to stop waiting, ready to take small steps, even if they were messy, even if they were slow. I began with little things. I cleaned my space. I drank more water. I opened my window for sunlight. I read one page of a book. I spoke one kind word to myself. And slowly, I felt something shift. Not outside, inside. I no longer needed a perfect plan. I just needed progress. I no longer waited for someone to rescue me. I started building the strength to rescue myself. And I realized there's nothing more powerful than a person who decides to show up for their own life. So if you're waiting for a miracle, maybe it's time to become it. If you're waiting for love, start by giving it to yourself. If you're waiting for a new chapter, pick up the pen. The rescue you're waiting for might be the moment you choose to believe you are enough, you are capable, and you have always been the hero of your story.